Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for your interest in my fast cooking system, which is flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. Stir frying is the engine that drives the cooking system. And there's nothing more important than the wok in stir frying. If you have just purchased the first wok and you know hardly anything about it, and this is the video, I will help you to get started. I use a Cucina 14-inch stainless steel wok as my everyday wok. I picked this wok for specific reasons due to my personal preference. This video created specifically in regard to this wok, but it will apply in general to all stainless steel wok. To a lesser extent, it will also apply to carbon steel or cast iron woks. So first of all, let me tell you why I prefer stainless steel wok and why I prefer this wok particularly. The primary reason is that stainless steel wok will not rust, so it makes it more flexible in different cooking situations. Stainless steel wok is also easy to clean, so I can keep it spotless all the time. These two characteristics apply to all stainless steel wok. The main reason I prefer the Cucina 14-inch stainless steel wok is because of its weight. And for a 14-inch wok, it is among the lightest woks on the market. In this video, I'm going to use this wok as an example to address many of the issues that you might encounter when you open up the box of your new wok. The first impression that you're going to get of this new wok is that it is very large. You might wonder, why didn't I purchase a smaller wok, such as a 12-inch wok? The reason that a large wok is better is because it will give you more flexibility of what you can do with it. All woks are scalable. You can cook a small amount of food as well as a large amount of food. A 14-inch wok can do exactly a 12-inch wok can do, except you can cook more food in it if that is a need. And because of the large size of the wok, the next natural question that you might have is that where can I store this wok? Of course, different kitchen situations is different. Some kitchen has very small storage facility. Based on my conversation with many different individuals, I have arrived at some general conclusion. I discovered the most frequent place for people to store their wok is right on top of the stove. My friend Janet told me that this is her natural place to store the wok because she uses her woks every day. In fact, the wok is the only cooking utensil that she uses. So the top of the stove seems to be the most natural place for it to sit. Another very common place for people to store their wok is in the oven. One viewer told me that she hardly uses her oven, and so the oven seems to be just the natural place for the wok to reside. Another popular place for people to store their wok is to hang them on the wall. George lived in a very small cabin in the mountains of Colorado. He told me that the wall is the only place that he really could store his wok. And this is also where I store my wok. I hang both of my wok as well as the wok cover on the wall. They're always visible to me, and I can reach them anytime I want. And besides, my wife does not like me to store the wok on top of the stove. She thought that is rather unsightly. Also because we have a glass top electric stove. So when we are not using the stove, I can use the stove as an extension of my countertop. The first thing when you remove the wok out of the box, you will notice that how beautiful and shiny it is. And you probably would like to know how you can keep it the way it is. And this is one thing I like about a stainless steel wok, is that it is possible to keep it clean and spotless all the time. So the first thing that you should do is to give the wok a good wash, and you can use detergent for your first wash But from this point on, you probably will never use detergent again to wash your wok. Okay, now you have dried the wok. We are ready to give your wok a test drive. For most people, when they first receive their new wok, the first question they might have is that whether their stove is suitable for stir frying, and mainly is their stove will provide enough heat. There are 4 common types of stoves that are found in home kitchens: gas, electric with electric coil, electric with a flat glass top surface, and induction. A stainless steel wok is the most flexible of all different types of wok surface because stainless steel wok work well in all these 4 different types of stoves. However, due to the heat capacity as well as the heating pattern of these 4 different types of stoves, you need to make small adjustments so that the stainless steel wok can achieve its optimum performance. And when my friend Don first started stir fry in the wok, he was under the impression the more heat, the better. At the first time, he overestimated the amount of time that need to heat up the oil. So when he turned his back to the stove and tried to find something in his refrigerator, when he turned around, the oil smoked profusely in the wok and it set off the smoke alarm. Heat management turned out to be critical in stir frying. It is true, the more heat that you are able to apply to the wok, the faster the food is going to be cooked. And this is why you see in commercial kitchens, where stoves that are designed for stir frying has heat output up to several 100,000 BTU. Cooking under this kind of heat capacity, you generate a lot of oil film. And this is something you want to avoid in your home kitchen. And therefore, understanding the heat capacity of your stove is really important to avoid generating excess amount of oil film during stir frying. So the first exercise that I would like you to do with your new wok is to test the heat capacity of your stove. For stoves with multiple burners, I will always use the burner with the highest heat capacity. The first exercise for you to perform is determine the length of time that is required to heat the wok hot enough for you to add the oil. There's a test frequently known as the water mercury test. Okay, so you first put the wok on your stove and you turn your stove all the way to high. And the objective is that you want to heat up the wok hot enough so when you sprinkle droplets of water into the wok, the water will form little beads like mercury being spilled on the floor. This is an indication that your wok is hot enough for you to add the cooking oil. You should take note of the amount of the time that it takes from when you turn on the stove to the point when the wok is hot enough. This needs not to be precise, but if you have a rough ballpark figure of how long that it takes, you will know each time before you need to add the cooking oil to the wok. And you do not need to perform this water mercury test each time. Next, you are going to add the oil to the wok. And right now, your burner is still set at the highest setting. The next step is for you to determine the length of time for the oil to be heated up until it starts to give up a very slight wisp of smoke. At this point, you immediately turn the heat of the burner to low or even turn it off completely. Because you want to control the amount of smoke that's giving up from the oil. This step is very important. And if you don't, the release of the oil film will get out of control. Different stove as well as different wok will perform very differently. And it is important for you to learn the characteristics of your stove and your wok. At this point, while the oil smokes gently, it is a time when the oil seasons the surface of the wok and to provide a non-stick cook surface. And I call this method spot seasoning because you season the wok right on the spot before you start to cook. Using this method each time before your cooking session, you will guarantee your wok will have a non-stick cook surface so that food will not stick and burn to the surface of the wok. And now you are ready to cook. You don't need to change the oil, and you can turn the heat back up, depending on what you are cooking, either all the way to the highest setting or somewhere in between before you add the food ingredients. Okay, congratulations! You have completed the first steps to get your wok ready for you to cook in it. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to use the spot seasoning method to create a non-stick cook surface for your wok, and then how to test it that you know that you actually have achieved this goal. Okay, keep on cooking. I will see you next time.